So today we're on Tallinn, which is the capital of Estonia. And so previously I made another video of the old town. So most of Tallinn is quite modern. So what happened, it was bombed when they had the revolution in 1980 and they got their independence from Russia. And so most of the buildings are flattened. But I'm presuming that building was there. But quite often, everywhere you look at new buildings. And so we'll have a little walk around. So the thing about new buildings is they're well planned. Like London was just thrown up and there was no planning regulations. Here they can, because the new buildings, they can think about what they're going to do before they do it, if that makes any sense. So let's have a general walk about. So it's the 14th or the 15th of September and the year is 2023. There's some typical locals there, usually fair hair. The European experience. So there it is. When you're thinking of coming to Tallinn, it'll give you an idea what the building's like. Sorry, what the city's like. Fancy car, isn't it? Porsche. So everyone seems to be getting food delivered. I don't know, whatever city I go to, Deliveroo or one of them, everywhere there's bikes with people rushing around, you know. So they've got the green man so he can crash. So there it is, the traffic. It seems to be moving quite quickly, doesn't it? Electric car, and really good for the environment. I mean, I hate the smell of diesel. Some people actually like the smell of petrol. Apparently it gets you high, but it's another story, isn't it? So I'm thinking about buying a microphone so approve my audio. I don't know how good my audio is, if you can hear me okay. Maybe you can tell me. Maybe you can tell me something in the comments. Do this, don't do that. So there's lots of cafes here. I mean, it's a tourist trap like most places. A pint of Guinness will cost you €5.80, but Guinness is not the local brew anyway, so I think most Estonians won't be going to these Irish bars. So that's a nice picture, isn't it? Does it remind you of anything? 11th of September? Maybe not. Maybe they were a lot taller. I've never been to New York, but I've always wanted to go. So maybe one day I'll go. So you can hire these scooters. Personally, I think they should be banned, but you can hire them. I mean, I think the sidewalk should be for people, not scooters and skateboards and whatever else. Like a racetrack. crap, isn't it? So they look like people's houses, don't they, down there? So I'm just wondering, see what we find. There's an interesting motorbike. So we've got these buses what bend in the middle. I think they're called bendy buses. I think had them in London one time. They banned them because when they bend in the middle, people are falling over and claiming money. But they are electric, so again, good for the environment. Some building there, isn't it? Fancy garbage can. And so you, in the middle of the modern buildings, you've got advertising for Puma there. You have the old church there. So you've got more modern buildings there. I say a lot of the city was flattened by the Russians in 1980s, just before they got their independence. So there's an old building which survived the bombing, and there's a new building which was built sometime since the 80s. So generally it's quite clean. You know, this is like a car park and looks pretty clean. You know, there's not a lot of paper or rubbish on the streets. Nice pair of yellow trousers on here, isn't it? So there's another building, and it looks like a Russian symbol on top of it. See if we can actually get a bit closer. It could actually be an apartment buildings, but don't quote me on that. I was actually looking for a supermarket, which I didn't find, but I'm sure I could come across one. See, she was on a push bike, I'm on the sidewalk, and you can't hear them coming up on it. Suddenly he looks to his left and there is a bike. So I really think push bikes and skateboards and scooters should be used on the road, not on the sidewalk. So there's the entrance into a car park. So I say that's quite an interesting building. It looks like apartments to me. Let's see if you can zoom in on the top there. It's got like a star, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pointed star. And I don't know what that is. I mean, it's a 5 pointed star Jewish. I don't know. So there's the trams. Another modern building. They all seem to have plenty of glass on them. Deliveroo, what their equivalent. So more buildings. So there's a building what must have survived the bombings. Again, it looks like apartments. It'd be an interesting place to live in the heart of the city, wouldn't it? I always prefer to live in the city. Maybe have a place in the country as well. But it's nice to live in the city. You can go out for a meal and you can walk home, and you know what it's like on a Saturday. That building was built in 1904. Which actually looks empty to me, but it's difficult to tell. So we're going to have a little film of the trams. That's another interesting building. Looks like something that was thrown up in the 60s, doesn't it? It's a bit of an eyesore. Very short, isn't it? There's another one. Just take a picture of it taking off. So I'll just say thanks for watching, and if you would, maybe subscribe, and maybe put a like, and maybe put a comment. Especially on my audio, do you want me to talk or don't you want me to talk? And maybe you want me to get a better microphone. Anyway, this is Tallinn. It's worth a visit, you know what I mean? It is worth a visit. So thanks for watching, and remember to put a like.